this together.
Walaikum salam. You are welcome to the Anura and Naya show.
That's not the name.
I can't believe you didn't have that already set up.
I did. I just tried to tighten it, but I guess I don't know what I did. I broke it.
That's okay. Anura, I'm wearing the necklace you got me. Everything's getting really tangled up right now.
Why?
You see? I hope it's not on backwards.
But peace and the blessings, everyone.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
It is evening.
Oh,
my bad.
That's okay.
Yay!
I'm so excited. This is our first live of many.
Yeah. We don't have a name for this yet. So if anybody is moving by the spirit to come up with a name, that would be grand. Because, like, we need help. Maybe when you guys, maybe when you hear a little bit more about what this is, y'all will come up with something and we'll be like, oh man, I like that. We're gonna use that. But in the meantime, I mean, do you want to explain kind of what this is?
Sure, we can explain what this is.
So
basically, both Anura and I are the oldest sisters in our families. And we didn't have that big sister growing up. We didn't have that sister that was going to help guide us through and tell us the things that, sisters let you know so you don't have to experience it yourself. And so we had to go through some things, and we are going through some things. And so we want to share some of those things with you all so that you all don't have to necessarily experience that, or so that you have some knowledge so you can move about and you don't have to necessarily go through the same exact thing.
Yeah. I want to pin a comment, but I don't know what to put. We ain't gonna worry about that. We ain't gonna worry about that. But yeah, before we kind of like get into the meat of this, I wanted to pretty much give my individual testament as to why I kind of wanted to do this. So like Nai said, I am the oldest of like 9 siblings on a good day. And growing up, I always wanted like an older sister because there was never anyone older than me. And all my friends were my same age. So when I got older, when I joined the Nation of Islam, I actually met someone who was older. And so she kind of taught me so much about, self-love and really how to hold myself as an adult, because I never really got that example. And then, being around her made me realize that, wow, I really didn't learn as much as I would like to learn. And even me now, I'm 22 years old and I'm out here in the world and I'm like by myself. I'm really realizing that there's a lot that I did not know until, I gotta know, unless I'm like when I'm in the moment. That's when I know. But a lot of times this is because I didn't ask anyone. But still, I always thought that it would be nice to have this information before I started, going out into this world. So I said, I want to start a series where I want to talk about how to get an apartment, how to purchase a car, how to save money for a car, how to open a bank account, just little stuff that I kind of went and did on my own because I was kind of rebellious and didn't want to wait on anyone. But yeah, just pretty much answering questions that I wish I would have had answered. That's kind of why I wanted to do this. So that's really my testament.
I'm going to add on to that with my personal for wanting to go live. I have a feather in my nose. So I guess Anura and I have kind of gone through similar situations. Like there were definitely things that we didn't learn growing up. And so I was like, wow, going through my life, learning and picking up these different things that I felt like other people already knew. And I'm just like, this is so crazy. But at the same time, I know a lot of women and a lot of young girls who still don't know these things that are, close to me, that are my friends and whatnot. And so I was like, all of the different things that I have learned throughout my life, I want to start going live and talking about these different subjects. And in my notes, I had even had a list of different things to talk about. especially female anatomy and the female reproductive system, because we're not taught about that at all by some parents, not mine, and just a little bit from school. And I know so many young girls out here that have no idea what is going on with their bodies. And so that is a topic for sure. But I came across Anora. Anora and I were working together anyway, so I didn't just come across her. But I don't know who mentioned it first, something about going live. Was it you?
Probably.
And then I was probably like, oh my God, me too. I have a list of stuff. And that's how we are here today. That's how we got to where we are today. He has ideas, I got ideas, and we're going to make it happen.
Yay! So yeah, that's kind of what started all of this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more to it. I'm pretty sure there's like a spiritual aspect to this. We'll figure that out later. But right now, we just gonna be answering questions. So, how are we gonna break this up? Because we're supposed to share our story to finding God, ourselves, and the Nation of Islam. So, like, do you want to break that up to God first, then Nation of Islam, or like, kind of for me, they all tie together?
Yeah, so mine tied together too. I can't have a Nation of Islam without the God, you know?
Yeah. I guess we can do it all
together. So what did you say the question was? What is our journey to the Nation of Islam, and what is our journey to finding God?
Just your journey to finding God, the Nation of Islam, and eventually to finding yourself, or just discovering, falling in love with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And before we go into that, if anybody got any questions, please feel free to drop them in the little box down there, because I like answering questions, and it's fun. So if you have questions about anything that's related to kind of what we're talking about, feel free to drop them in there. We'll answer them when we're all finished with this. So just...
I'm cool with answering questions. So yeah, go ahead. Ask away.
Oh, wait, never mind. You're already in here.
You said there's already a question?
No, these are questions from my story. That's pretty cool.
Okay. But, so did you wanna tell a little bit about yourself first? Or did you want me to go first?
You can go first.
You can go first.
Why do I gotta go first?
Because
well, I'm done with
her.
I don't know how to break this down.
Or I can... I can start saying a little bit, but I'm sure I'll pick up and remember stuff, so I'll have to go back. But like I can't start.
Okay.
I have a question. Tips on writing your letter. Honestly, writing my letter took me so long because my handwriting is not the best. And so when I write, I don't know, with my arm and my hand, I'll be writing and then my hand will jerk and go. So I wrote, I'm pretty positive over 50 letters. Not all the way through, but I would just be going, and then when I mess up, toss the sheet. My word is bond to Allah.
Wow.
I swear I would be writing and toss the sheet, writing, toss the sheet, writing, toss the sheet.
Jeez.
And I cannot write in a straight line for my life. It was so bad. So it took me a while. I cried a lot. I prayed a lot. Yeah, but I did it.
That's one of the pros of being an artist, because it didn't take me that long. I've seen it, practice. I don't know how many I wrote exactly, but I don't know. It came easy for me.
Yeah.
But can y'all please ask the questions in the little box, because we'll get distracted and want to answer them right now. So yeah, where we were, you were.
Oh, I see questions on here.
Yeah, but you were going to explain your story and answer the questions later. So.
Okay, Jesus. Okay, so the question, my journey to the nation and my journey to finding God. So growing up, I was born into the nation because my mother was Muslim. My mother is Muslim. My mother is a registered Muslim in the Nation of Islam and active. But my father is not Muslim. And So yeah, that's what it was. Me growing up, um, going to the mosque and to MGT class, and my brother didn't have to go to MGT class, obviously. And my father wasn't in the nation, so it's not like he was taking an FOI class. So it was just like on Saturday mornings, I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't even sleep in. I had to go to MGT class. And I had never quite understood like what this specifically was that I was doing or that I was learning. I was just like, I do it on Saturday mornings. I go every Saturday morning. And yeah, like the people I know are there. And I go and I got aunties there who hug on me and love on me and whatnot. But when I got to the 6th grade, my parents divorced and I started going to public school. I started going to public school and then my parents divorced. And in public school, because at first I went to Muhammad University of Islam, but when I got to public school, everything was so different. It's a school with majority white people that I was going to at first. And it was just a total switch of everything for me. I was used to dressing modestly, wearing covering clothes, being a good person. And these children here, oh my God, terrible. But that was 6th grade. And then I got to 7th grade, and it was black people. I wasn't the only one. And it was better, but I got so far away from the Nation of Islam and the teachings mentally because everybody else was doing worldly things and I wanted to be involved. I wanted to fit in. I really wanted to fit in. They would talk about my clothes, what I wore. Um, yeah, and I always had this one little braid in the back of my head and whatnot. But I just wanted to fit in. And so I could really care less. I love the Nation of Islam, but I could really care less what was going on at the mosque because I was just trying to focus on what was going on in my life because it was kind of a depressing time. So I was just trying to make it day to day. I wasn't thinking about any of that. My mom was like, come to MGT class, come to the mosque. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I actually used to be embarrassed because I wanted to fit in so bad and I even changed my clothing to fit in. I used to be embarrassed when my mom would come to my school wearing the garments that we wear in the Nation of Islam. It was so embarrassing for me. And my mom walks,
Mm-hmm.
she walks, she walks like she's on a runway, right? And she'll walk right in my school, like, and I would be over there like, oh my God.
Don't even care.
But yeah, and it took me 6 years of conforming to the world and what the world does, the things that happen in the world, dressing worldly ways, doing worldly things. Yeah, everything changed and I just became a part of what everybody else was doing because I wanted to fit in. But throughout this time, I had felt so kind of empty, like I'm missing something. I'm missing a major part of everything, which was really depressing for me because it's like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but something still isn't good enough. Like something is missing, something is not good enough. All these bad things continuously happen. What is going on? And it had gotten to a point where I only prayed when I was eating with my family. Like I didn't pray outside of that. And it's not that I didn't believe in God, because I always believed in Allah God. It was just that I, for a while, stopped feeling as though I was worthy of his love. And I definitely had to get over that. But I felt as though I wasn't worthy of his love and I wasn't meant to necessarily be here, but somehow I was here. And so it was just like, all right. But yeah. And in my senior year of high school, so 6 years later, my senior, why are you laughing and nervous?
Nothing. I'm always laughing.
6 years later,
Continue.
in my senior year of high school, whatever. Well, actually, no, in my junior year of high school, there was something racist that had happened at my high school. These little white boys had lined up and spelled the N-word out on their shirts. And it got on the news, it got on the news and whatnot. And then based on that, shout out to Nima and Mishay. We started an organization at my high school called DREAM, which stands for Diversity, Raising Equality for All Minorities. And in there, we would just talk about things that we weren't talking about before, because the administration at my high school was like all white and whatnot. And when we would have our meetings, I would always tie in the things that I had learned in the Nation of Islam to, the topic of the day, because I realized that I knew things that they did not know. I thought this was common knowledge, about Christmas and Thanksgiving, like the truth behind all that and whatnot, and the origin of Halloween, and like all these different things, and the word picnic, and all of these different things. And I'm just like, whoa, our people really don't know about this. And so that became kind of a mission for me. And I feel like that was the turning point in my life, where I started to kind of, be like, all right, let me see what is going on over here. And I would, bring my friends to Savior's Day. Shout out to Ramaya. Brought Ramaya with me to Savior's Day. I brought me Shake too. But yeah, we'd go to Savior's Day, and I would actually, listen to what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan would say, because at first, when I was younger, when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan would be speaking, I'm sorry, this is getting really long, but at first, when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan would be speaking at the mosque, I mean, I was younger, so I was just there. I wasn't necessarily listening. I mean, I would try to listen, but then, I started talking with my friends, and I didn't get anything. I didn't retain anything. But now it was like, I'm going so that I can listen to what he has to say, and I'm taking away these things. So I'm just like, whoa, Allah, is this it? Like, is this what I have been missing? Even though I was necessarily in it in the first place, I had to come to an understanding of what the Nation of Islam and who the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was on my own. And so I hadn't understood, like, a lot of the phrases I had heard growing up, like Master Farrakhan, Allah came in the past. Let me get my words together. Allah came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, or that a nation can rise no higher than its woman, and all these different things. I'm like, I don't understand what this stuff means, and I just never cared to get into it. So then my senior year of high school, I was going through some stuff. I was in my car, and we were driving. I wasn't driving. I was in the back seat, and we were on the expressway. And at that point in time, I was crying in the back seat because I had gotten into an argument with something, and we were texting back and forth and whatnot. And I had asked Allah for a sign. No, I'm not. Student in the ministry class. But I had asked Allah for a sign, and then it was a boom, a crash, and all this glass shattered all over me. And that made me cry even harder, girl. I thought somebody was shooting at us. I didn't know what was going on. And that was my sign from Allah. And I took that sign as Allah telling me that I need to get my stuff together now, because I had really been dragging out. And so 2 days later, the next day, I wore my last final outfit to school that wasn't uncovering. Yeah, like just my arms were out. That was it. And I had on some wide leg jeans, and like my shirt was just see-through, but it had sleeves. And yeah, the next day after that, that was my first day covering. I covered to school. And I remember my the dean of the school was like, you got to take that off your head. And I was like, I'm Muslim now. And I was like, you know what? I got to get my stuff together. And then I got involved. And after that, I started working on my letter. I believe this happened in September. No, what month is this? November. I believe it happened in October or November, maybe. No, November. I texted you the other day, Anura, right? And I said 4 years ago today I started covering. Okay, whatever. I think it was pretty positive.
Well,
it was November.
A number. That's all that matters.
Yeah. And then that February, I got registered. And I had been working towards me getting registered. I had got involved in everything, and I started to learn. And then I felt so behind because everybody else that stayed at MUI was learning all of these things because they were at MUI, and I didn't know. I'm still learning. But yeah, that was my journey. I'm sure I missed some pieces, but Anura, what about you?
You came in exactly when you were meant to come in, and you knew exactly what you needed to know. If you knew everything, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Nope, we would not.
I don't even know if we'd be friends.
Nope, we would not. I wouldn't know who you are.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. But
I
yeah,
wouldn't be alive. That's for sure.
we wouldn't have these stories. But you didn't say how that led you to God. Did you?
Yeah, I did. I didn't go into like the most detail, but yeah, I did.
Maybe you did. My bad, y'all. I will watch this again anyways. So it's
I wonder
fine.
what you got to say, Anora.
My journey, I mean, the real journey has only been like 4 years. So my journey was pretty much my college experience. Instead of going to college, I joined the Nation, I joined the Nation and I went to Life University. So that's what I did. I joined the Nation in 2018. I was I was 18 years old. Um, excited. Thought that the Nation was going to be like top tier, everybody disciplined and stuff like that. And then after joining, realizing that we are all like struggling and stuff, that kind of brought me down to a certain level. So this was the end of 2017. Just joining the Nation of Islam, 18 years old. Quit my job because I didn't want to work. I had an idea to start a business. Didn't go to school because I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. And I wanted to dedicate all of my time to being in the Nation. Um, come 2018, because of all these expectations about life, about, the Nation, being an adult, I'm grown, I'm 18, can nobody tell me nothing. Ended up putting myself into a depressed state for, I don't even know how many months, but it was for some time. Um, So like literally like 3 months prior to that, I was on like an all-time high because I had the teachings. I was coming into the Nation, and I was just like, man, can nobody tell me nothing? I know the knowledge is so blah blah blah. Just for a lot of knock me all the way down like 3 months later. So that happened for a majority of 2018. And then from there, I don't know what happened towards the end of that year. I could say it was just God because I can't remember right now. Something made me click and was like, look, you need to get out of this because this ain't doing nothing. I think I started to get like some debt started piling up. So I said, I need to go do something. Went back to my old job, worked for 7 months. And then really in 2019, that's when I picked up, creating the content because um, I don't know. I wanted to teach people the teachings, but I didn't want it to be boring. So I kind of did that with my content. It was real kind of surface level, me just making content. I wasn't really being my creative, funny self with it. I was kind of just being my artistic self because I was kind of still shy to share who I was with the world. So this was 2019. Some other stuff was going on with my home life. Um, I don't remember much. I worked 2019 and I was creating content. But I remember towards the end of 2019, I remember coming to a point to where I felt like I wasn't really being myself. Like I was just having like what is it, existential crisis? Is that what it's called? When you're just like, I don't know who I am. whatever it's called.
I don't know.
I went through that period and I was like, I don't like this. I am not happy and I'm not who, I was reflecting on who I was in high school, always laughing, always making people laugh, always doing something crazy. And I said, maybe I should tap into that. I never really wanted to share that because I didn't think that that was MGT like, nation friendly or whatever. So I hid that side from the internet until around 2000, beginning of 2020. I just started creating content and just me expressing myself and just being weird and funny is kind of, what was it, a midlife crisis? I was only 21. You can say it's an early 20s crisis, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But yeah, the beginning of 2020, mainly during the whole pandemic when we were stuck at home, I was just creating content because I had all these ideas that would just come to me and I just create them. And the responses was just so like amazing. Like so many people was like, "Oh my god, I love your content. You're so funny. You're so relatable. I never even know people went through this." And that's kind of what made me feel comfortable with being myself. Like prior to that, I had this idea of who I was supposed to be because I was in the nation, looking at other people. But it wasn't until then when I just started pushing myself out there where I realized, okay, it is okay to be myself. This is my power. This is my attracting force. And so I just kept doing that for the entire year. Um, use that endurance, that confidence. Pretty much quarantine really did a lot for me. I'm actually grateful for that because I was able to, self-reflect. I was able to really like establish that relationship with Allah because I really didn't have anything else to do. I stayed at home at this time with like 10 members of my family because we all were home. Nobody was in school, nobody was at work because, we was all on lockdown. And so I used that time to focus on self-development, focus on, in a sense, finding myself. I really couldn't because there was always something going on because there were so many people in the house and I really didn't have any space to be alone. But that period of time was kind of like my period of being in the womb, just learning, reflecting. And then after that, I ended up landing myself a job at the end of that year. I ended up moving out of my parents' home. And I already knew that all this stuff was happening. I just kept working towards getting it until it happened. And then it wasn't until 2021 where I really got to know who God was. Because when I moved out, I was all by myself. There was no one else here. So it really forced me to establish a relationship with him to where I'm at the point now that no matter what happens in my life, I know he's there. And there's absolutely nothing that can change that because of everything that I went through this year, everything that happened to get me to where I am today. And yeah, that's pretty much my journey to finding God and the nation and myself. I think that answers the question. I don't know though. Was that thorough?
Yeah, you gave a little
Sure.
bit less about your finding of the nation, and I realized
Oh,
I did give less about me finding God. While you were talking, I realized I did.
well, yeah. Me finding God was this year because I was in my own space. I found the nation because I actually, similar to Naya, I grew up affiliated with the nation. My dad was in the nation. He actually got his ex the day of my mother's baby shower when she was pregnant with me. So he was really getting into the teachings when I was coming into this world, which is why I think I'm a little bit more attracted to the nation right now. But anyways, I grew up with him being in the nation, so that means I attended Savior's Day lectures, Savior's Day weekends. I remember the Children's Village. We used to go with him to the mosque on Sundays. We used to wear garments and stuff, but nothing was ever like forced on us. So that's why I didn't really know anything but surface level stuff to the nation, and that's kind of why I actually am appreciating that now because when it came to me finding the teachings, when I was around 16, because I was going through this self-discovery period, I just want to learn more about myself for some reason at 16 or 17, somewhere around that time. And he actually had books in his cabinet that I could actually go and read. And so I read them, and he was there for me to ask questions and stuff. And social media, Brother Ben actually is one of the reasons why I eventually decided to join. And there's some other people on social media at that time. That was like 4 years ago. But yeah, that's kind of what led me back to the teachings. Because when I was like around 11 ish, my dad stopped making us go to the mosque. So I was like, oh, I don't care. I want to stay home anyway. So I just grew up like, a normal child in the world. But I never really did anything bad. We weren't really exposed to anything bad. So I wasn't out here wilding. But I was out here having fun with my friends until, I came into the teachings when I was around 16. And I waited until I graduated, though, to actually start, covering up and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's how I found the nation. It was always around me. I just somehow got interested when I was 16. It's Allah. I don't really have an explanation. All I can say is it was God.
So beautiful. Because I was 16 too, Anura, and you got registered in 2018. I got registered in 2019.
No, 17.
You said 2018.
I was 18 when I graduated high school and joined the nation.
I heard you say 2018 is when you got
What
registered.
if I did?
Okay, you got registered in 2017. Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's more than 4 years. I mean, what year is this? Honestly, don't ask me.
That's 4 years. Going on 5 next year. But it's only 4.
Yeah.
So my college experience was the nation and Life University.
Me too. Because I graduated high school at 16. So the last of my senior year of high school, the last couple months, February, March, April, May, last 4 months. But I guess I can add on to me connecting with God. Wait, Anura, were you just talking about you finding yourself? Because I thought we were talking about that after. Was that like all you were gonna say about that, or?
What you mean?
Okay, calm down.
For what?
About finding yourself. Wasn't that the next question? Like, how did you find yourself?
Well, that was like a 3-part question. The whole, how did you find God, the Nation of Islam, and yourself?
Oh, I didn't talk about finding myself.
Yeah, I know.
You want me to do that? Okay, sure. First of all, me finding Allah, I knew Allah was there, but I did have my doubts that not that there was a God, but that I don't know. I just had doubts. And so I would pray and I would ask Allah for certain things and whatnot. And Allah really made me known. No, He really made me know to put Him first because I used to put a lot of other people first. I wouldn't go to God first. I would go to everybody else. And because I did this, I had to learn the hard way. And Allah removed a lot of people in my life. And Allah put me through some very negative situations because He wanted me to come to Him first. And that's definitely a lesson. A lesson for me that I will always remember. I'll never forget that because I don't want to have to go through that again. Huh?
That's lucky a lesson for everybody.
Yeah, definitely a lesson. Put Allah first. Because at the end of the day, Allah is the only one that can help you. They can't help you. Nobody else can help you. I love my mother. I love my father. I love Anura. But if I come across a situation, I can't go to them first. Because they are not going to be able to help me the way that Allah can help me. What they're able to do is minimal compared to what Allah can do. So go to Allah first. Go to God first.
Sometimes when you do pray and you go to Him, those closest to you can say something to answer that prayer, but that prayer usually isn't answered until you ask or go to the God with it first.
Yeah.
So
Because if you don't make it a prayer, then that means you've been going to him first. But yeah. And then I guess for me finding myself, honestly, of course, I mean, I'm still finding myself, but I like to say that I found myself a lot compared to the me that I was before, how much I knew about myself before. Because as I was saying earlier, when I transferred to the public school, like I basically changed all of my ways so that I could fit in with everybody else. And that definitely made me lose sight of who myself is. Um, and we're taught that we are righteous Muslims. And I definitely had lost that part. But Anura said she wasn't wild and I mean I wasn't wild in high school. But I wasn't like I wasn't the worst. But I wasn't the best. But I kept my virtue, of course. All praises due to Allah. But yeah, in high school I was depressed. High school was depressing. I mean high school had its fun
Okay.
times.
Can you add that you were like a baby in high school?
LOL.
Yes. Hello, Amira.
I'm still a baby. I can't see. Hold on. I'm going to swipe down and come back up because I think I'm missing stuff.
Okay.
Oh my God, I was missing stuff.
You ain't missing none.
Oh, can you see me?
No, I can now.
Okay. So, yeah, when I started high school at the age of 12, and then in September, I turned 13. I went to Muhammad University of Islam, and there, if you pass the test, you can start school. And so I passed the test at a younger age, and so I was able to start. All praises due to Allah. And I have been put into the world at a younger age. All praises due to Allah. But, so yeah, in high school, I was depressed because I was not being myself, and I was trying to fit this certain standard. And I did fit that standard, but it cost me my mental health. Like I started dressing the way, I started talking the way, I started eating the way, except for pork. Still didn't do that part. But yeah, I started doing all of that. And I guess it would be my senior year too when that happened. I get my years messed up. I don't know which years.
15. You were 15.
Actually, I was 16 in my senior year of high school. So I was 16. And yeah, I think it was after I graduated that I was able to have time with myself and start to understand myself and get to know myself. I got into doing the things that I like to do. I like to drink tea. I don't know if I had got into meditating yet, but I just started recognizing myself and understanding myself, and I started to express myself in the way that I wanted to express myself through my dress. I love fashion, and when I was trying to fit to like the worldly standard of how they like to dress our women, I dressed to fit the standard, but it still wasn't stuff that I specifically would like to put together. As you could tell, I like patterns and I like color. I know I'm a little bland right now, but I like color. And
Bland? What?
it's a pale pink. You know how I feel about pink, Anura. Amira knows how I feel about pink. And a dark blue. I was gonna wear a maroon, but then I was like, I'm not about to iron this. But yeah, I started expressing myself, and I really did that through fashion and dressing modestly, because I had made it a mission for myself that I was going to prove to the world, to everybody, that you can be modest and you can still be cute. And I like to say that I am doing that right now.
She sure is.
Our praises due to Allah.
To the T.
But yeah, me finding myself was a long time of me going through stuff, trial and error, trying to spend time with people who I was not meant to spend time with. Like befriending people.
You were though.
Huh?
You were meant to spend time with them.
Well,
you learned a lesson.
Yeah, but I wasn't meant to continue to spend time with them.
Yeah.
They were removed from life, and I was removed from their lives. But yeah, I just been striving to be a good person, and since then, I haven't not strived to be a good person. But there was one point in time I didn't necessarily lose my faith, but I was like dwindling away, and that was it was a trial for me. My grandmother passed away, and that was I got registered. No, I graduated in February because I got registered before February, or maybe I got registered in February. I don't know. And then my grandmother passed away in like July, and that was really a trial for me. And I felt myself falling back into my old ways, doing the things that I know I shouldn't be doing. But it was my way of grieving, I guess. And it was really bad. I think a lot that I was able to pull myself out of that, and that he helped me pull myself out of that. Else I wouldn't be where I am today. But yeah, if it were not for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I would not be alive today. I can say that.
Praise be to Allah.
Wait,
Before we get,
Amira, hold on. Amira, are you still on here? Has she commented lately?
I think she is. Yeah, she's still in here.
Okay,
What?
Amira, can you take a screenshot of me and Anura going like this?
She did, and she sent it to us. You didn't get the text, but
None of us doing this. Okay.
hey, annoying.
Hope you got that, Amira.
Okay. I wanted to add one more thing, but we got like some questions that I want to answer before we leave. We only have like 17 minutes. But I also wanted to add that if you're like a high schooler or you're a teenager or something right now, or you're not even a teenager yet, it is very important to surround yourself with people that you can be yourself with, because I think that's really what made me um I don't know, that's really what made me remember who I was when I lost myself when I was around 21. Because I put on this persona of a person who I thought I was supposed to be. Um, but it took for me to reflect on who I was and who the type of people that I spent my time with in high school, that helped me come back to that person. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Okay, I thought I was following, but then I got a little lost when I said back to who you were in high school.
So
So you're saying in high school you were yourself, and then after high school you weren't yourself, but now you're getting back
yeah,
into your high school self.
not necessarily, yeah, my high school self, but my high school self was just myself. Except I'm not like exactly who I was. I myself more mature, more I have the teachings. I'm not out here wilding, and I have, these restrictions and limits that I can't just go do the
Yeah.
first thought that comes to my mind, because the first thought is inappropriate and I can't do it. So it took for me to remember and reflecting on that person, because who I was in high school, well, honestly, all throughout my school years, I've had the same pretty much group of friends, and I was always able to be myself with them. So I was never uncomfortable with just being me, because they were crazy too. I was crazy, but they was crazy too, and we matched each other's crazy. We just had a lot of fun, and I kind of lost that, because when you leave high school, you leave the people that you grew up with. You kind of realize who you are. You take on all these
Your own
different
thing.
people, yeah, and you kind of lose that. So your friends are important. They can influence you to do some really good or bad things. So choose wisely.
That's true. It was the opposite for me in high school. In high school, I was not myself at all. It was a very miserable time. And I realized that I had to get out of this. This was not for me, because this is not the person I am. I shouldn't be waking up every day just feeling terrible about the way I'm living and my lifestyle and the situation that I am in. So I had to make a change. And I was like, oh, I had to come to this because of what was going on, with me and my mental at that point in time. It was just like, nobody is going to change my life for me. Allah is not even going to just change my life without me doing anything. So if I want to experience better and I want to live better and I want to be happy, then I need to do something to make myself happy. And so that's what I started to do. I started to do things to make myself happy. And all praises due to Allah. I'm so very grateful because I'm here. I'm here right now. But are we answering questions in the box?
Praise be to Allah. Dang, I forgot what I was going to say. You said something. Yeah, this question, you can't see the box, but.
I can. I'm looking at the questions right now.
For
I
real?
thought I didn't, but I do. Yeah, Sister Tisha asked, how do you know when you are... Oh, my bad. Shoot.
I have to click on it.
You do it.
The first thought isn't inappropriate. It's actually the second thought that may be louder. And you hear that the first thought is always the right thought. No, I understand what you're saying, but for a long time, my first thoughts were very terrible things. So
what are you talking about right now?
It's a comment someone made. I'm just talking about it's of sometimes like doing things like when it came to like content or whatever, because I was still transitioning from the world to civilized thinking. My first thoughts would be some really off the wall crazy stuff. So that's why I said that. So,
Anura, when I go to look at the comments, they all start to like go away. How do I make them stay on my screen?
I don't understand what you mean.
I can't scroll and look at the comments. Tell me what to do. Why? I get like one scroll in and then I don't have them.
That's because you left and came back. They're all gone. I
have the comments, but like I just can't keep scrolling. It keeps like making the comments small.
I don't know, man.
I don't know technology.
You gotta reach out to Instagram. That's the state platform. I don't know. But this question I want to answer. Can you see it?
Which one? Questions in the question box?
Yes, I'm gonna read it to you.
All right.
How do you know when you are aligned with Allah?
You want me to answer first?
Yeah.
How do you know when you are aligned with Allah? How do you know when you are in line with Allah? When you wake up and you start to feel at peace. When I was not in line with Allah and His will, because a Muslim, the definition of a Muslim is a person who submits his or her will to do the will of Allah. And the will of Allah is basically to do righteousness. And so before I was striving to be righteous, I was just so not at peace. My mental was not at peace. My body was not at peace. The energy was not at peace. Nothing was at peace. It just wasn't good. But then when I started to be righteous and strive to be righteous, I wasn't being righteous. I was striving to be righteous, to correct that. There was peace around me and happiness. And I didn't find myself being so miserable as I was before. So I think there's a peace that comes with that, being aligned with Allah, and some more understanding to your life. And because when you are in line with Allah, you start to understand some things, and you start to accept some things, and you just overall feel better. Anura?
I agree with that whole peace part. That is so true. I know at first it may be a little difficult to know when you are actually in a line with Allah, but for me personally, I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or like I'm doing the will, is when I get like feedback or people saying certain things. Sometimes it's just like thoughts in the moment. It'd be like, oh wow. You're really doing a good job. But it's mainly when it comes to, let's say, the social media thing, if we're talking about anything specific. When people are DMing me, like, it can be random people, like some stuff that I said that I don't even think half the time that I say stuff, I just be saying stuff. And people be like, wow, I needed to hear that. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Um, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I just do it and people they just feel it. So that's how I know when I'm in align with is it alignment? When I'm aligned with Allah. Cause half the time I really don't be knowing what I'm doing. But it's working every single time I do something. It is impacting someone. Someone is being moved or something. So that's usually how I know when I'm doing the right thing. 90.
I'd like to add on something to that. I also know when I'm aligned with Allah because everything starts to fit together and piece together. Like
That too.
recently, when I started school this semester, I'm in my third year in the College of Architecture. But I started, and then I was worrying about money. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to work as often because I'm in my third year now. I actually need to focus on stuff. I gotta get ready for internships. I gotta do a whole bunch of stuff. How am I gonna focus on money, right? And then this opportunity came to me, the most random opportunity in the world. I didn't even go looking for this. It was brought to me to work, which is what I do now, as an instructor at an elementary school, a CPS elementary school, and get paid a lot of money per hour because I'm like a special kind of teacher. And I only work 3 hours a week. And so this opportunity came out of nowhere. And I was just like, oh my God, Allah, you're taking care of me. I love you. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much. Because I didn't know what I was going to do. Yeah,
That,
things just fall into place. Like I'm over here worrying about an internship. And then a sister reached out to me the other day. Her husband's an engineer. And she was like, are you looking for an internship? And I was like, yeah. Allah got you. Allah got us. He has our back. And he will show that to you through the way that he blesses you.
yes. I want to add to that because you just reminded me that like when you submit your will to do His will, your desires become His desires because you made His desires your desires. And I'm just like a witness bearer of that. Last year, before I got this apartment, before I even got my job, I was like sitting down. I had a prayer. I'm like, Allah, I've been doing all this work for 3 years. Um, all I really want is this apartment. I promise I'm gonna do good. I promise I'm not gonna be in there doing anything crazy. I just want to make content to help people. I want to do this. I want to do that. That's all I want. I don't know how I'm gonna make it happen, but I just know that I've been doing this work, and I know that after the work, you usually blessed. So I just want to know what's going on. And then stuff just started happening,
Yeah.
and I got a job. Job wasn't really covering all the bills, but it was covering rent. I didn't care. Got approved for apartment. When I tell you the money for the apartment, um, like the savings, like the down payment money, all that stuff came out of absolutely nowhere. That's how I knew it was Allah. Um, when I moved into my apartment, my car actually broke like a week after I moved in. So I was out of a car for like 3 months. Um, and still struggling to kind of pay bills because I was only making enough to cover my rent. I had to figure out how I was going to pay my other bill. But around March, not only did I raise like $2,000 to get a car in like a week, but like that's what like 3 days later, I got a call from my job and I started making more money than I've ever made in my entire life, like out of nowhere. And it didn't make any sense to me. And I was just like, what? So, hey, you submit your will and He will bless you. And there is no blessing like God's blessing. So that's how I know for me, I'm in alignment because not even just that. I remember I wanted a camera a few months ago. Money came out of absolutely nowhere. The IRS deposited some money in my bank account. Didn't know why. Didn't care because it was the exact amount that I needed for the camera. Wouldn't go about the camera. Didn't have to come out of pocket for it. So, hey, it's real. You just got to submit your will and be sincere. and have a bright heart and
Yeah,
intentions.
beautiful. What's the
So
saying,
that's
Lenore?
cool.
I believe it's a scripture. Something something, and Allah will bless you tenfold.
I don't know.
Well, if you know, put it in the comments, please. If not, we'll get back to it next time. Anard, are we answering more questions? Are we ending like especially at 8 o'clock, or are we?
Do you want to?
My eyes are starting to hurt. This being right here, but I'm willing to answer. Let me look at.
We'll do 3 more or 2 more. How many more do you want to do?
It depends on how long they're going to be. Should we save some of these?
Well, some of these questions.
And I have another meeting at 8:20. Okay.
Yeah,
Forget that.
some of these questions are like for me, they don't really have anything to do with the topic.
Oh, with the topic.
Yeah.
Do you feel okay? What about this one then? We can answer this one. Do you feel doing for self is easier if you know on your purpose? Does that have anything to do with the topic? Was the one we answered the only one that has to specifically do with the topic? Oh no, this one. Any tips for becoming better versions of ourselves?
I think that said reflections of Allah. I like that.
Things are like moving around. Are you doing things?
I like it.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Better versions of ourselves.
What can I hear you? Put my headphones in.
I do not like to have AirPods in for so long. I feel like they stretch my ear canal. I said I don't like having AirPods in for. Oh, sure. Yeah, let me look at it again. Any suggestions, any tips for becoming better versions of ourselves? Better version of yourself. I'm all about that. You all always hear me talk about, listen to me at least. You always hear me talking about becoming the best possible version of myself. And for me, at least, doing that is just literally following the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Get in tune with your body. What's going on with your body first, regulate all of those little affairs with your body, and then focus on what you're putting into your body. And I'm talking about spiritually and physically. Watch what you eat. Get on your 1 meal a day, and I promise you will start to feel better. Since I got on my 1 meal a day. Oh, my bad.
It's fine. Continue.
When I started getting on my 1 meal a day, I started to have so much energy. And it wasn't that I ate 3 meals a day before that, but snacks and whatnot. And I was so tired and so dry. And I started feeling better. I started feeling like my best self when I started eating my 1 meal a day. And learning is fun, first of all. And learning just makes you feel good. Like when you study something, you be like, oh my God, like I know something that I didn't just know before. And then, doing hobbies and making those hobbies things that you love to do. Having fun with life while also searching for your purpose. And surrounding yourself by like-minded people and always wanting to learn more and gather more truths and do good things for people. Yeah. The best religion as taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is to teach others the way that you want to be treated. So treat your brother and sister good. If you see they're lacking in something, gift them with something that they need. If you come across a homeless brother in the street, go buy him some food and see how that makes you feel afterwards. Just strive to be righteous and strive to do good, and you will feel really good.
Preach, preacher. Pastor Naya.
No, ma'am.
Woo! So, I guess to sprinkle on what Naya said, she pretty much covered y'all. Self-reflecting. Is that pretty much what you said? You said, I remember the teachings of Most High.
Not
Taking
really.
care of yourself. Well, yeah, I'm gonna dig into it. Self-reflecting, because when you sit down and mine out your garbage, because we all got garbage and trauma, whatever going on, you are able to view the world in like your situation, your scenario with the proper lens. So, in order to become a better self, you literally have to sit and be truthful with yourself.
Right, right.
And the world is, what is it? The universe. This is a universe built off of truth. So when you are true to you, like everything you got going on in here and here, then again you're able to go and be like, oh, I need to work on that. You do that a lot. You need to not do that anymore. Um, go put on some glasses. You look funny.
I need some sunglasses. I have contacts in right now. So it's not like the glasses part. It's just man. Okay, go ahead though. I don't mean to interrupt you.
The consequence of your actions. But
I,
yeah,
I won't go live with you, Anora.
self-reflecting, being true to you,
Yeah.
and like real true. If you messed up, you got some issues, own it. Figure it out what you need to do to fix it. And then from there, that's when you're able to move and do better things. Because once I know that I have this issue, it's easier for me to want to go eat healthier because now I know why I need to go eat healthy. It's not like something I'm just told to do. I know I need to go do this because I want to live my life. I want to live a long life. I don't want to get COVID, so I'm going to eat one meal a day. I'm going to take all of these pills and minerals because the truth is, if I do not do this, I'm going to suffer. So being true to yourself, that's how you become a better self,
That's
in
true.
my opinion.
That's
In
true.
my
I'm actually
opinion.
glad you brought that up and about the, the self-reflecting because that is honestly so true from my personal experiences. I had to, before I could be a better person, I had to sit down and reflect and come to an acceptance that what I'm doing is not cool. The way that I'm living is not cool. The way I'm treating myself is not cool. And so if I want to be better, I need to do something that is cool. That's not cool. And you got to reflect on your relationships with people. Like I had to reflect on my friendships and my relationship with my mother. And you gotta learn to accept and let things go and move on, because if you're holding resentment for other people or anger for towards the other people and negative emotions for other people, you're not going to be able to move past that. You're not going to be able to move on because you're holding that against that person, because you're holding negativity. Every time you see someone, you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's not good. You need to work on that. And and I talked to some people. I got audited. I got um straight wired, and I got it figured out. I did a lot on my own, a
Can
lot
you
of stuff.
explain
No,
auditing for those who don't know?
can I explain?
Yeah, what auditing is.
I'll do my best.
Just
Um,
brief.
L. Ron Hubbard Dianetics, taking you back into traumatic moments in your mind to help you understand why it affects you the way that it affects you, even if it is something subconscious and something that you don't realize. I know it wasn't a complete sentence, but yes.
Yeah, it's sort of like we have things called engrams, and these engrams are moments, it's really trauma in our minds that blocks us from really like growth. And so
Yeah, precisely.
when you are able to remove these engrams, like these blocks in your brain, you are able to go about your life and not be affected by that trauma. So let's say you're on a road, somebody's punched you, you have an engram with that. So every time you're walking on the road, You get anxious because you think somebody's going to punch you. When you go
Right.
through Dianetics, you remove that engram by talking about it. It's no drugs or anything. You literally just talking until it's cleared.
But it's not just talk.
So
Like they walk you back through that situation and you're just like
yeah, but
you're in that situation. It's so cool, you guys.
you're
It is so
talking.
cool.
No
You talk it
medical
out.
procedure, no nothing. It's just you and one person. It's real cool. But
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it is. Once you get rid of that engram, you're able to, you know, go about your life and not be affected by what happened in the past. So that's what that is. Maya, you want to add something?
Um, I realized that I didn't touch on self-love at all because it
Yes,
took me
ma'am.
a long. No, I'm not gonna touch on it right now,
We
but
had
it
66.
took me a long time to love myself. But when we came up with like what we were gonna talk about today, and we said finding yourself, I don't necessarily associate that with my self-love. I mean, it is kind of a little bit, but I don't. I feel like my self-love journey was a little bit different, but then they kind of come together.
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Get into
Next.
it, yeah. But do you want to do one more question and then we out of here? Or are you done? Questions are really for me.
Yeah, we can answer how tall are you? I'm five
No,
five.
that has nothing to do with anything.
I mean, what does? Do you see something it does?
We don't have to do anything deep. Um,
I mean, what other question has something to do with what we're talking about now? I can't look at my phone anymore.
what's the best
The
thing
words
about
are
being
too
an
little and the
MGT?
bright light. I mean, the light is too bright.
This is the last question, you guys. If you have more questions, we'll be back next Tuesday. I think we'll talk about it after this. But the question is, what's the best thing about being an MGT?
The sisterhood. I have an eternal family. Oh my God. They love and support me. And like no matter what, it's always one of my aunties, not blood aunties, but my aunties of the nation that are texting me, telling me how much they love me and supporting me and just like I'm so proud of you and I'm just like it warms my heart. And honestly, another thing that I just love when one of our loved ones pass away in the Nation of Islam, all of the sisters will come out to support. Like all of the sisters will come and be there and just help you through that time. I remember when my grandmother passed away, all the sisters came out and they, helped set up the memorial and they were just there the whole time. And it was so nice. So
Mm-hmm.
nice. And we really love each other and we want for our brothers and sisters what we want for ourselves in the Nation of Islam. At least we're striving to be that way. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Um, I love everything about it, but really, the sisterhood is everything to me because I never really had older sisters or older relatives. And I'm really someone who connects with human beings. And so being around these older people with experiences and stuff, um, it really shaped and molded me to be who I am today. So I like to surround myself with intellects. And now that I am getting older, I am now in the older sister position. I was the little sis 2 years ago, pre-pandemic, and now I'm the big sis. So the sisterhood is honestly number one right now.
Yeah,
But everything about it is amazing.
it is. It truly is. It's so beautiful. Join the Nation of Islam. No, I'm kidding. But
Yes.
Nora, where are you coming from? Me, you said that you like to spend time with human beings. Because I'm an animal person.
No.
I love my
See,
family.
that's your own brain. I was literally just saying that I like connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't had nothing to do with no cats.
Beings.
But
That's
it's getting
okay.
late.
You need to be nice to your niece.
We'll see. We'll see.
It is
But it's
getting
getting late. Thank you guys so much for tapping in. The question, I don't know if I can come back and like see this. I might be able to. If
screenshot
y'all
them.
got questions, I think it's Anissa. You asked like 5 questions. So if you want to just DM me, you can, because I like answering questions because that's what I do. It helps me think. But yeah. And if you're still here and you have that question, just DM me, please. Thank you. This is actually a gift. Someone gave me clothes to wear, and so
Yeah, I'm like,
now I never even wear them.
but yeah,
But
I'll answer DMs too.
yeah, just DM those questions. We'll be on next week. Actually, speaking of next week, I think because that is Christmas week, we should talk about
The truth behind
our
Christmas.
experience. That and our experiences being Muslim children celebrating Christmas because we had both of these dynamics in our lives. And I know we're not the only ones who probably grew up with that experience. And I would like to share our point of view or our perspective of Christmas growing up with the teachings. So I think that'd be a cool topic.
Up with Jesus, down with Santa. That's my new favorite saying.
Yep.
um, yeah. Sounds like
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to our next live on Tuesday,
Yep.
discussing Christmas.
So
Christmas.
every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're supposed to only go to 8, but sometimes we might go over the conversation getting a little too hot. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank
I think we had
you.
like, I don't know how many people joined, but it'll show me afterwards. We had a lot of people. So thank you guys so much for your support and your
Yes.
love.
Thank you for
Um,
making our first live special.
yes. And I again want to apologize for not being active for like 3 weeks. Too much because I got a lot going on. And y'all gonna see what I got going on in the very near future, inshallah. And you guys are gonna be so happy. Naya too. It's some really cool big stuff. So yeah, amazing things come in 2022. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We tapped in. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have
It's
anything?
it's a lot of big things coming up soon. Again, thank you all. If you got questions, for maybe the questions that maybe you'd like us to answer in our next lives or whatnot, you can always DM us those, or you can wait till the
Mm-hmm.
next live to ask us those, because we'd love to answer the questions. And if
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
any
yeah, yeah.
other topics that you'd like to hear from us, let us know about that too, because we'll do that for you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, we pray that you all enjoy the rest of your evening. And assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.